What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today I'm going to be concluding the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy with It's a Trap, starring Seth MacFarlane, Alex Borstein, Seth Green, Mila Kunis, Mike Henry, John Benjamin, D. Bradley Baker, Carrie Fisher, and Rush Limbaugh. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And you heard me correctly at the top of the show when I was reading the cast. Carrie Fisher does a voice in It's a Trap. She actually voices the character of Mon Mothma, the only other female in the galaxy, to which Lois's Leia quips right back with, I hate her. So sit down, buckle up. We're going to conclude the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy with, honestly, probably the least appealing out of the set. I mean, they even make fun of it here. You'll hear me touch on a couple times. But let's just get right into it here, shall we? At the Griffin household, the power goes out once again. The family sighs and pouts, and Stewie asks if they're about to do Jedi now. Peter says, let's just get through it, and the opening crawl begins. And even the opening crawl makes fun of the fact that they did not want to do Jedi. They had done Star Wars against Fox's wishes. Fox didn't think it would draw money. By the time Blue Harvest came out and was successful, they were already almost done with Empire. And then, Fox basically said, if you don't do Jedi, we won't let you leave to do the movie you want to do, to Seth MacFarlane. So, okay, so they did it. And like I said, the crawl even tells us, don't have your hopes too high. Even the FedEx driver got a joke into this. On Tatooine, R2-D2 and C-3PO, Cleveland and Quagmire again respectively, find Jabba the Hutt's palace in order to try and initiate a rescue plan to save Han Solo, Peter, who is still frozen in carbonite. Leia, Lois, infiltrates Jabba's palace disguised as a bounty hunter and unfreezes Han. And as Han begins to thaw out, he lets out a long, gnarly fart because of all the buildup inside the carbon chamber. Jabba, played by Joe, catches Leia, and she becomes shackled and chained to Jabba's side. Han is thrown into a prison in the palace where Chewbacca is being kept, played by Brian again. And Luke, Chris, arrives at the palace and attempts to bargain for the release of his friends. Jabba opens a trapdoor and Luke falls into a pit where he battles and kills the Rancor monster, portrayed by Rush Limbaugh. Afterwards, Jabba orders Luke and his friends to be eaten by the Sarlacc, Meg. Once again, they've got to give Meg the monster. Couldn't give it to Jabba. That would be a little bit too big. So they give her this throwaway character. Luke initiates an assault on Jabba's crew after a very long, drawn-out head nod sequence. And with the help of Lando Calrissian, Mort, they defeat Jabba's goons. Luke chokes Jabba using her slave chains, while the others commandeer a transport ship. Luke and R2 fly to Dagobah so Luke can finish his training with Yoda, Carl, while the others rejoin the rebel fleet. And Yoda explains to Luke that the final part of his Jedi training is to face Vader one more time. And in his dying words, Yoda reveals that Luke has a sibling. And Obi-Wan, Herbert, tells Luke to think about it. Who's the only female in the story? Which leads Luke to realize that Leia is his sister. Admiral Akbar, played by Klaus Heisler from American Dad, explains that to destroy the Death Star, they must first disable a shield generator on the forest moon of Endor. Han uses a stolen Imperial shuttle and an old access code enabled to sneak past the Empire's blockade. And Vader, Stewie, allows them passage knowing that his son Luke is aboard the ship. They reach the moon's surface, and the rebels are spotted by Imperial soldiers, which they stop from reporting their presence after a high-speed chase on speeder bikes. Separated from the others, Leia is found by Wicket the Ewok, Tim the Bear from the Cleveland Show, while Luke, Han, Chewie, and the droids fall into an Ewok trap while they are searching for Leia. The group of rebels are then brought to the Ewok village where Leia is being kept. The Ewoks believe that C-3PO is a god, and they begin to worship him. Luke tells Leia that they're siblings, but Leia claims that she already knows. Chris, as Luke asks her, you knew that when you kissed me? And it's like, I'm from Alderaan. It's kind of like the south of the galaxy. Making a joke of all the inbreeding that happens in the south. Following Yoda's advice, Luke surrenders to Vader in order to confront him. And Vader then tries to convince Luke to turn to the dark side, but Luke refuses. And the two meet with the Emperor, Carter Pewterschmidt, Lois's dad, who reveals that the Rebel Alliance are walking into a trap on the forest moon. And when this revelation fails to anger Luke, the Emperor begins to mock Seth Green. And for those of you that haven't picked up on it now, or you don't watch Family Guy, so you don't get it, Seth Green is the voice of Chris. So all the times during the ending of Blue Harvest and something, something, something Dark Side, when Peter, Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, is taking shots at Robot Chicken, which is a Seth Green show, it's all just good fun going back and forth. So the Emperor, to try to get under Luke's skin, since Luke is Chris, and Chris is voiced by Seth Green, he begins to mock Seth Green. So Luke defends Green, obviously, because it's Seth Green voicing him, saying that, he's been in plenty of successful projects. Austin Powers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, only for the Emperor to point out the downside of Green's career, going as far as to say that he only enjoyed him in Entourage because he was being himself, playing an asshole. Luke becomes enraged by this and begins a lightsaber duel with Vader. Back on the forest moon, Han leads the rebels to the shield generator, but the team is ambushed. The Ewoks help the rebels escape from the Imperial troops and destroy the shield generator, while Lando and Nien Nunb, portrayed by Rallo Tubbs from the Cleveland Show, lead the attack against the Death Star. Luke is able to subdue Vader, but he refuses to execute him and join the dark side. The Emperor then attacks Luke with his Force lightning, but because Luke asks Vader politely for help, Vader gathers his strength and kills the distracted Emperor by throwing him into the Death Star reactor core. Vader and Luke manage to flee the Death Star before Lando and his crew can blow it up. And when Vader asks Luke to help him take his mask off so that he can look upon him with his own eyes, Luke has a hard time getting the mask off, accidentally twists and breaks Vader's neck. Everyone back up on the forest moon celebrate the rebels' victory over the Empire. The Ewoks kill the wounded Imperials, and the spirits of Obi-Wan and Yoda appear, along with the redeemed Anakin, who accuses Luke of murdering him. The Griffin's power is restored as Peter concludes his story. Meg asks about the prequels, and Peter nonchalantly says that he thinks the Cleveland Show is doing them, which, to my knowledge, the Cleveland Show never did them. These three are all that were ever done. And the show ends with Chris asking Peter what he has against Seth Green. And Peter's just kind of like, I just think he's a douche. And Chris is like, well, I think Seth MacFarlane's a douche. And so Brian and Stewie automatically chime in because those three characters, Peter, Brian, and Stewie, are all Seth MacFarlane voiced. And Lois and Meg kind of chime in on Chris's side, going back and forth about who's better, Seth MacFarlane or Seth Green. Again, this one isn't near as good as the others. It is definitely still funny. There are still moments that make me chuckle. The long, drawn-out scene on the sail barge where the music is just getting intense and intense, and each character kind of looks to the next one and does the head nod. I swear the scene must go on for like 5 minutes until they finally cut to a scene from Caddyshack where the guy's like, well, we're waiting. That's a good, little bit that they threw in there. I like how they brought some of the characters from American Dad and the Cleveland Show into the final installment, although admittedly, I never really cared for American Dad, and I rarely ever watched the Cleveland Show. But the characters being in there, they were familiar enough that I had that Captain America moment and, understood the references of them coming in. But again, like I said, this one wasn't near as good as Blue Harvest or something Dark Side. If you remember, I said 4 stars is the best I could give to a parody of an original property. And this one, like I said, even though it does have its moments, and there are things about it that I do enjoy, I can only give this one 2.5 out of 5 stars. It really, really is that far down the totem pole from the other two. And, the fact that Seth MacFarlane didn't really want to do it, you can tell in the writing, the gags, and even in some of the performances. You can just tell that they didn't really want to do it. Make sure you get out there, though. Try to get those hashtags trending for me. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatBoyApproved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you get out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network For all your official merchandise of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, get you your Renegade JJ Williams shirt, your Statboy Sports Bar shirt, Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, hashtag Statboy Approved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get you your official t-shirts of the Jeff Meacham Network, 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, your Talk Wrestling shirts, Meachamania, and so much more. We have one more film that we're going to do in this little bridge between Star Wars and Star Trek. And that's tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. And I bring you yet another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, and I will be reviewing Spaceballs, the movie, starring Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, John Candy, Mel Brooks, Daphne Zuniga, Joan Rivers, and many, many others. You're not going to want to miss out tomorrow when I review Spaceballs, which is very much a parody film of not only Star Wars, but Star Trek. There's a little bit of aliens in there. It's been so long since I've seen it. There's probably more that I'm going to have to take note on when I view it here before reviewing it for you guys tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss out on that one. So, for all my viewers that have been watching the premiere, leaving your comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. For all you guys that view it a little bit later on in your day on demand, leaving your comments down here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of my loyal fans who tune in day after day, check out my reviews. I will see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you.